We are live 364 days a year. What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube. Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How do you not get 50 after Monday Night Raw?
Salutations, ladies and gentlemen. It is your boy Shad Talks Graps, and we are back with another installment of the Wrestling Republic Daily Broadcast. It's Thursday. You know what that means, man. It is AEW Dynamite review. We are on the road to All In. There's a lot going on, and I'm super excited to talk about this. You could call me Mr. Dynamite now. Call me JJ from Good Times because it's Dynamite, okay? I'm excited, man, because I got a familiar panel from last week. Y'all might know them. I got two ants, but y'all can call me Unc. First and foremost, a man I've done plenty of AEW review shows with, Throwback Thursday Collective. Clark is ducking us, Anthony. I don't know why, but it's all good. How you doing, bro?
Doing all right. He's probably on the golf course somewhere. No, I mean, it is kind of aging us for the JJ from Good Times reference. Not from the 70s. Seen the reruns. Relax. Yeah, it was an interesting Dynamite. A lot of interesting things happened as we were on the road to arguably one of the biggest shows of the year, which is going to be an incredibly stacked weekend coming up in the next 2 weeks for wrestling fans. So let's get into it.
Let us get into it, bro. I'm excited. It's an eventful weekend too, man. Obviously, we got WWE PLE happening, so that's gonna be fun. But this ain't about them. But this is about the DMV. And last but not least, man, I'm so glad I ain't the only DMV representative nowadays. I got all these, Brits having all their gang together. Obviously, Philly's like my second home. But Anthony and Josh are out in Philly. But we got Northern Virginia representation, man. We got DC representation. We got Maryland representation. Bro, by the way, before I toss it off to Big Ant, Clark did the biggest disservice, okay? He said DMV, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, man.
That's tremendous.
DC, Maryland, Virginia, 2 up, 2 down. Man, we in here talking a little bit of AEW. Dynamite was great last night. I had fun watching it. I'm going to have fun again reviewing it with you guys. We're going this is the crew now. This is the show out crew. So let's have a great show.
I love it, man. And let's get right into it because we got to talk about what started off the show. I mentioned we are on the road to All In, and we have a big time money match, y'all might say, or will this be a timeless classic? Mercedes out the gate takes Toni Storm out back, takes it to the woodshed, and beats piss down her leg. Like she was mollywopping her in front of the stage. And then you had Mina Shirakawa coming out for the save. This set up a match for Mina and Mercedes next week for AEW 300. But I really like this intro personally. I think this gives me a lot of reminiscence of heel Sasha Banks. Like when she really gets down to the nitty gritty and is just a straight up menace and a straight up beast. And it's not about, cutting the promos. It's like, I'm going to beat you down and remind you, it reminds me of her putting Bianca in the bank statement when she returned after the little contract signing. The moments where she would beat up on Bayley. Like, this is a Mercedes that is best served heel. Like, she's really great as a heel. And Toni Storm, I feel like I can't say enough great about Toni Storm. I think she is arguably like the biggest babyface character in AEW right now. I don't think there is a fan in that building that does not love timeless Toni Storm. I think she keeps them all engaged and entertained. And I'm excited. I feel like they started off this feud a little bit slow, but the last 2 weeks they've kind of kicked it up to, this next gear, and we're a couple weeks away. I'm here for it. I think this is a match that needs to deliver. I know it'll deliver in-ring wise, but it's always about the build, and I think they're steadily building into that. I want to ask you guys, though, in regards to last night, how did you feel about the segment? And I guess just what's your overall temperature going in to this all-in match? I'll start with you, Anthony.
I think with this, and this may be a controversial take, or maybe it won't be, to me, this is the marquee match for All In. This is the one that, for me, of the matches that have been announced so far, this is the one I'm most interested in. It ain't Hangman and Moxley, only because the Death Riders thing, I really don't care. They haven't given me a reason to care. To me, Mercedes against Timeless works because it's an unstoppable force against a movable object. It's a situation where it's a belt collector against somebody that's incredibly over as a babyface. And how do you get a feud over? Beat the babyface down, because you want the babyface to get their revenge. I thought it was not only a great move last night for to open the show, because when you open a wrestling show, you want to do something to grab the audience attention. So if they're flipping through the channels or they're flipping through the streams, however they're watching it, you want them to go, oh, this looks good. This looks interesting. Like, that's what you want. So you opened it with a bang, and having Mercedes beat her down. There is no probably women's wrestler in wrestling right now that has probably a better character than Timeless does. It's over the top, but it's over the top in a good way. So it's compelling. Mercedes run in AEW as a whole, some people love it, some people don't. It hasn't really captured for a lot of things, but this feud may be able to do that. And I feel like this is the most interesting one going in. And if you can keep building like this, they may have a hard time not making this the main event. I know they would probably go Hangman Mox world title. Typically, that's the case. You're going the whole cowboy Texas type thing, even though he's not from Texas. But you're going that route, so they're probably, especially if Hangman goes over, that's probably the main event. But you're going to have a really hard time not making this one, because this is going to have a better story, I think.
And that is a compelling argument, and I like that you open this can of worms, because I think this is something that we can all talk amongst each other about real quick, because this is not the first time that we've run into this situation with Toni Storm where we've had this debate. We talked about her and Mariah May.
Monroe.
Or Blake Monroe, sorry.
The current Blake Monroe.
Man.
Yes.
Controversial figure on Wrestling Republic, if you haven't
yes,
can tell by now. But it's to your point. It's the fact that Toni is so captivating, and Tony's such a good storyteller to that point, where you mentioned the whole dynamic of the Death Riders and Hangman. Like, people aren't earning, like, they're not really like craving that storyline compared to a lot what Toni does.
I think, and I don't mean to cut anybody off, but I think what the situation is that AEW's audience, or Tony Khan, likes to emphasize on dream matches, this person against that person, and the storytelling has always never been front and center. To me, I think storytelling is what drives the numbers, what drives people's interest, which drives people to want to watch a show, buy a pay-per-view, go to see it. It's the storytelling that drives people in. The match could deliver, that's fine. But the story, you have to have the audience to care. And I think that's what works with Toni Storm, is the reason she stands out and the reason her feuds stand out is because of the character and because of the storytelling. It's, that's what I think drives it.
To that point, though, you kind of have two birds, one stone, because I think Toni and Mercedes is a dream match. We've seen Moxley and Hangman wrestle numerous times in the past.
Yes.
Like, this isn't a dream match that we haven't seen. Like, I could be wrong. They may have wrestled in WWE. I know they had I think the only match they had, they were like in a tag team or something like that. right? I think Toni
not
Storm was
not in a
mostly in NXT.
I don't believe it was ever in a front and center, pay-per-view main card. Like it was never anything like one-on-one.
You guys,
did that
you guys are
degree.
missing it here. You guys are missing it here, right?
Go ahead.
So Tony Khan is literally like Kevin Feige right now, right? You got Mercedes Moné, who's like Thanos, connecting all the Infinity Gauntlets, and she's just ready to just snap half the women away. That's what she's done, man. She's talking about everybody she's beat. She's gone to these other promotions, just like Thanos was traveling to all these other worlds and stuff, and taking the Infinity Gauntlet and taking the stones from there. So, and now you got Tony Storm, who is your like you said, the quintessential good guy, Iron Man, who's coming, who's going to stop that juggernaut that is Mercedes Moné. So, I mean, All In is their WrestleMania. And I feel like they're following a lot of things that WWE does, where, you build it up, you build it up, you build it up, and then it's where you have your Hangman, Adam Pages, and your Tony Storms. And so every casual person that's watching it goes, that's the good guy. Oh, the good guy win. Oh, we can all cheer.
Well, let me ask you this, Big Ant. Do you think with last night, do you think that because I'll be honest with you, if you look at the topics tonight, we're not even talking about Hangman's match. Do you think Tony and Mercedes last night delivered that segment, but do you also think they are setting themselves up to be the main event for All In?
They definitely should be the main event. They're going to be a co-main event, because Tony Khan is, like Moxley's going to be the main event. But it's just like when Mercedes Moné and Bianca Belair had their match, and how that match stole the show, and nobody remembers what the main event of that WrestleMania was. So Mercedes does a really good job of setting herself up. And like you said last night, man, she beat the hell out of Toni Storm. Pardon my language. She beat Toni Storm well. And she dropped the B word on TV, and it was like you used to seeing that stuff maybe the second hour, but not as soon as you tune in. So they're definitely setting themselves up to be the main event, in which they should be the main event. But I don't think they will be, which is sad.
Yeah, and
not in Texas. Unfortunately, I just don't see it.
Yeah, with Hangman.
Do they deserve it? Yeah, yes. But I think it's they're either co-main eventing or they're opening. You know what I mean? As a dramatic, like, oh, this is a big deal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the old, isn't Roman's adage? I'm either opening the show or closing the show.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't that. So, either setting the tempo, but like, it should be the main event, but it probably won't be.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see where it goes. We have a couple comments that I do want to show. First and foremost, Fernando Zaya is saying, it's time to light the fuse and ignite the Dynamite review. I like that. We might have to coin that as a phrase going for future shows. We got DC Warlord, Arsenal thing, saying, ain't you? Okay. Why are you an Arsenal fan? It's been corrupting your mind, bro. It's okay. Just ping me if you need help. All right, get you some help. He also says Tony's been dressing up like Carmen. That is exactly what I said.
Oh, yes.
We're in the world Carmen Sandiego. I love it. I think it's funny. Her promo.
She had people in the crowd dressing like Carmen Sandiego last night too.
And it's also the fact that like red pops in the it's the black and white, obviously, but you just see the red trench coat and the red like top hat, and it just pops so well.
Honestly, that's two things that they could possibly do it all in. You can kind of do, the movie Schindler's List, the whole movie's in black and white except the red coat. You can kind of do that with her entrance for All In. And as far as the Carmen Sandiego thing, I would, because Tony Khan likes to spend money, and this would be a lot cheaper than Final Countdown. He could probably get like the song from the old PBS show where on the world is Carmen Sandiego as part of the entrance. I think that
PBS
you wouldn't.
PBS needs some money, bro. They Hey man, they
Listen,
trying to do him dirty, so
it's going to be a lot cheaper than paying for Final Countdown. I'm
Countdown.
pretty confident on that.
It definitely
Pretty
is.
yeah.
I'm definitely is.
Oh, that's
man.
hilarious.
Is
Alright.
that not great? Because you can get multiple different blondes and which one's the real one, that type of deal.
I like that idea. It'll be similar to
Like when all the Cenas came down
Yes,
to the ring.
exactly.
I was gonna say the real Slim Shady, but Cena took that from Eminem too.
Yeah.
But it's all good. Cena's a stealer. Let's
You're
go.
just saying that to mess with Jordy.
Ooh, I don't know who Jordy is. Just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Jordy don't watch AEW.
The Mickey Mouse guy.
You don't watch
Michael
AEW
Jordy?
or Michael Jordy, man. Let's get to this next topic though,
Mhm.
because we had a return
Mhm.
to the ring.
Mhm.
Kota Ibushi, man, he wrestled Trent Beretta. Thought he looked good, man. I know that Kota has had a unfortunate list of injuries throughout his
Yeah.
career. This is a guy that, if you follow, the story of everything in New Japan, or I think DDT with him and Kenny Omega, the Golden Lovers, he is a pinnacle to what Kenny Omega's success is, and him kind of returning back in AEW. It's nice to see Trent Beretta playing his role. I will say this: the Callis family, it is like he got more members in the Wu-Tang Clan. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just everybody gets to be in the Callis family. I could probably be part of the Don Callis family.
Honestly, it's
he
kind of that.
Gave me a business card.
Honestly, it's kind of that point that if they don't know what to do with you, if you're Canadian or you have some Japanese tie, you're with Don. Like, that seems to be the go-to. Like, we don't know what to do with them, so we're just going to stick them with Don.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously he comes out and he gets a win, and we get a face-off between him and Okada. That is the match set for next week. I like everything tied to it. I think the fact that Okada is aligned with the Callis family, the numbers do need to be evened out. And I think this is a way to continuously build up this Omega and Okada story. I think Okada needs to destroy him next week. I think Ibushi needs to bleed, kind of like Kenny is. Go for the same sort of like injury that he went to. But I want to ask you though, Anthony, what are your thoughts? Everything in regards to the match and just this, we got Kota Ibushi back, man, and we got him and Okada next week. That's kind of crazy to think in 2025.
Yeah, like you said, Ibushi has been gone for a very long time. So it was good to see him back. I got to give props to Trent Beretta too, because he is, quote unquote, a really good hand. He's somebody that knows how to make his opponents look really good. Nick Nemeth is one of those type of people. There's certain ones that can, really help elevate people or to make them look strong. So you knew going in, okay, Trent has no chance of winning this. Let's be real. He had no chance. Ibushi's the bigger name in this situation. I think in a lot of ways, what they need to do, and I've said this before, when you're bringing in somebody that from Japan or has not been seen much, because Ibushi really was not seen much in AEW for the brief time that he was there before he went away. You really kind of need to reintroduce the audience to who this person is. And since you have partnerships with DDT and New Japan and all that stuff, you should probably see if you can get the footage. Because that was one of the best things they did when they did the Okada Omega story, where, they replayed that entire rivalry to build up to the eventual Okada Omega feud. I completely agree with you that Okada needs to essentially destroy Ibushi. Now, that's for the good of the Omega Okada feud. I don't know if that helps Ibushi long term, because he just came back from injury. So to have him get taken out, I don't know if that particularly helps him in this scenario, but it helps the bigger marquee match, which is Okada Omega. But I think that's what you need to do. My original thought would be maybe try to drag out the Ibushi Okada match, but to build to it and kind of try to build some interest to it. But considering it's probably a placeholder, for the Omega thing, because Omega's going to probably run in and make the save or something to that effect, or come back after and go, and you hurt my friend, blah blah blah, and like try to drag it out. You took me out, but you took him out, and it hurts me more, or something that to build the sympathy for it. But ultimately, it's Okada Omega. Like that's where this is headed, and unfortunately, I think Ibushi's going to end up being a speed bump in this road to that matchup at some point.
Yeah, and so Kota Ibushi is a very tricky wrestler to kind of book in that same point, because I do kind of think that he is booked for the likely. I think his place is for the likelihood of this story. I don't know if he's going to be someone that gets a lot of traction in the singles division, just because I don't know what his health is in regards to being like a workhorse week by week. Also, if I'm getting a Bushi, I feel like as a fan, I want to either see the Golden Lovers return as a tag team, or have the story with him and Kenny eventually feuding at some point. But I don't know if like what happens after this. I don't know who he goes against. It's definitely a tricky one, because that men's division is so damn stacked. Like it's insane. Honestly, it's insane.
It's stacked, but in a lot of ways, they really don't know what to do with a lot of these people. They just kind of put them in places.
That's the problem, though, is because it's got you have like a embarrassment of riches at this point, where it's like people are gonna.
Well, I feel like differently from y'all. I feel like Ibushi should win the match. I think either something silly like a roll up, or maybe like a disqualification. Like he wins, it helps elevate him coming back, gets him a good match, and then after the match is when Okada beats him down, and then that's when Kenny Omega comes out with the save.
Doesn't that mess up the whole belt thing with the two logos on the side? The Intercontinental that's not Intercontinental, the Unified title that they're gonna be introducing.
Probably, but like I said, if it's a disqualification win, something like that, it doesn't take away from the storyline.
The last thing I want to see happen is Ibushi turning and siding with Don. Like, we don't need another member of Don's family.
Right, no.
Like, that's what concerns me. Because based on how they book, they would do something like that. That would not shock me in the least of them doing something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I do want to get through a couple comments first. First and foremost, Fernando saying Wu-Tang forever. Hey, man, this is probably one of the funniest ideas I've ever heard. Let's merge the Don Callis family with Shane Taylor Promotion. Why, DC Warlord? Why? Why are we
Who's even in Shane Taylor Promotions these days? Do we even know at this point?
It's Shane Taylor. It's Lee Moriarty, and it's the Infantry, I believe.
Okay.
Are in it as well. So I think it's like 4 people at the moment.
They're usually behind
it's mostly. I mean, they are also primarily Ring of Honor people.
Yes.
Lee is the pure champion. So
right.
And then obviously this is going to be a pretty good match. This happening tonight. Cole versus Alexander. I'm excited for that. Fernando also agrees it is going to be a great match. David Marsh saying it's going to cook. And he also is noting that tonight TNA is on YouTube. And that takes me to one of the best segues.
Oh, that's right.
Because you know what else is on YouTube? Y'all want to know what else is on YouTube? Us. This shows. Okay.
You got to take David off.
David, get your comment out of here, buddy. Let's talk about Wrestling Republic Undercard, which is also on YouTube. If you haven't already, subscribe to our second channel, the Wrestling Republic Undercard. You have exclusive videos, clips, and much more. We have a lot of great content that just dropped. Obviously, new episode of Grappling for Positions. Drizzy, myself, Clark, and a returning Megan talk about the pecking order of who we think will be at the top of the NXT Women's Division after the loss of Bakar, Julia, all of them. It is something that you should definitely watch. We have a lot of great shows sold separately. They are on there, man. Anthony and Clark reviewing some of the dopest wrestling toys, memorabilia, all of that. Y'all definitely need to go there. And yeah, you get great clips from these shows too. So definitely make sure you go ahead and do that. Also, another YouTube channel that you should subscribe to, Allison Analysis. Boss Man himself has created a new channel where he reviews key findings from Raw, SmackDown, and much more. It is a great watch, man. If you don't have the time to watch Raw or SmackDown because you're busy and you kind of want to know what the important parts about it, Ben Allison got you. And last but not least, we got to talk about our good friends at Etsy. If you haven't already, download the Etsy app. Go to the App Store. If you got to go to the Google Play Store, I feel bad for you. Go get an iPhone, then go to the App Store and head up to the upcoming stream section. It is a super fun time, man. You got Big Ant always on there. You got Clark always on there. You can argue with them if you want. You can tell them that they're wrong. I know y'all always think we wrong over here. Go ahead and get on the Etsy app. Argue with us. Tell us why we are wrong. Hey, man, let's have a good time.
I love that you're Android shaming. That's tremendous.
Only thing green I like is money, man. Get that green chat out of here. Don't nobody want to see that.
Thank
I
you.
love how mad they get that it's green. It's green on the iPhone.
Chaos hates when I have to do ad reads because he has an Android for some odd reason. Hey, can't. It is what it is, man. Let's talk about this match that happened last night. Fatal 4-way. And I got to say something real quick because we had Thunder Rosa. We had Chris Statlander. We had Willow Nightingale. And we had goddess Athena. And I just got to say something real quick because I'm a sicko. And I'd love to make y'all mad in the comment sections. I'm looking at a starting five of Willow, Chris Statlander, Athena, Mercedes, and Toni Storm. I don't think there is a starting five on any wrestling promotion that can mess with those 5 women bell for bell. Okay? And don't think that stuff is weak because you might not see them booked prominently. You saw last night, Athena is one of the best in-ring wrestlers in the entire world. And she just gave you a little sample. It's like going to Costco on a Sunday, a little sample. You look at Mercedes, you look at Toni, we talked about them. Chris Statlander, Willow. Willow has got the best pounce since Monty Brown. Like, she is sending people flying out there. And Chris Statlander is one of the most underrated women's wrestlers in the entire planet. I'm picking those 5 over any of the 5 on any other wrestling promotion. I'm sorry. I'm strictly talking about wrestlers. That is a strong 5. WWE fans yell at me. I don't care. I don't care. Anyways, these women had a fatal 4-way positioning for this match that we have at All In for the Casino Battle Royal. It's going to be really dope. And Statlander gets the win. But Statlander gets the win with a little bit of help. These pesky Death Riders. A lot of help. Pesky Death Riders. They've been trying to recruit her a little bit. Obviously, we know that Huda and Stat got connections from the Best Friends days. She had that little interaction with Mox on Saturday, and they helped her get this win. I got to ask you, Big Ant, what is your thoughts on Chris Statlander potentially joining the Death Riders? Is this something that you think would be beneficial? Does it have any interest of you? Or do you want her to run away from them?
Yeah, I definitely want Chris Statlander to run away from the Death Riders. I feel like the Death Riders don't have any kind of direction right now. So why put someone else in there that, you know, is a decent wrestler with no direction? I don't get it. I think them helping her, you know, can cause confliction in her to where she's looking back and forth, and ultimately they could end up jumping her too. I don't know what's going on. No one knows what the Death Riders are going to do. That's the only thing that makes them fun, is that you never know what you're going to get. But other than that, there's no direction with them. And to answer your question earlier, I'm sorry. I'm going to go Rhea, Naomi, Bianca, Jade, and Bailey. That 5 right there could run with them any day. But that's neither here nor there. Back to the subject at hand. Yeah. Chris Statlander's been doing good on her own, man. I didn't like her getting the win over. I didn't like Willow taking the pin. I don't like how they're booking Willow here recently because she definitely deserves better. And but no, definitely just keep Mox away from it. It reminds me of what the culling is doing with Tatum Paxley. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Oh my gosh. That is the most disgusting thing what the culling is doing to my Tatum, bro. Like, I don't like it at all. So if you put that in comparison to it, I might hate this now because I am mentally scarred from Tuesday night of what happened to Tatum Paxley. But that's neither here or there. This is the thing. I feel like we need to. This is like a trope on Wrestling Republic because we talk about it all the time. We need to book these women more to give them to do some more stuff. Obviously, there's rumors, and I'm not going to say anything is confirmed or not, but people always want to talk about potentially bringing tag titles into the fold. I wouldn't hate that, but like I feel like a lot of these women are talented. I also think that it is very difficult right now because the two champions are facing off each other, so there isn't really a direction for a lot of these ladies to fight a champion going into All In. But it's going to be interesting.
It's not like you have a third women's title. Oh, that's right. Athena has a women's title, and I believe isn't there a secondary one in Ring of Honor too? I forget who has it, but somebody has one down there. I think.
I'm going to be honest with you for a second though. For All In, I think so. Athena and Thunder Rosa have a storyline going on. If the fact that Chris Jericho can defend his Ring of Honor championship when he was championship on every damn pay-per-view, but Athena can't is crazy.
Honestly, it makes no sense. They both have Texas roots. Mm-hmm. She's been a champion for, I don't know, 700, 800 days, and she can't get on a pay-per-view. Like seriously? Like, yeah. Are you that afraid that that's going to overshadow? Now, I'm not saying it's going to overshadow Toni Storm Mercedes, but are you that afraid to have another major women's title match on the show that potentially could challenge it?
No, I highly agree. I feel like the Ring of Honor Women's Championship should be defended at All In because you know what? I don't care if you want to save it for a big match on Ring of Honor. Both of these women have vocally spoken about how much this show means to them and how much it means to wrestling in Texas, right?
Keep treating her like that. Keep treating her like that, I can't wait to see Athena versus Io Sky at WrestleMania. Keep treating her like that.
I fully get that you also have Supercard that weekend, or you're doing it in Texas, but there is no reason why they can't wrestle on both shows. There's no reason.
Yeah. Nobody care about Supercard.
I'm just saying. Technically, I get it. They need a major match for that show. To get people to pay $10.
I don't even know who the hell is the champions on our show. Besides
I legitimately only know it's Athena.
Like, who's the man? Who's is Bandito still champ?
Yeah, Bandito. I think.
Yeah,
I think it's Bandito.
And then Lee. Okay, so I know a couple. I
don't ask me the tag. I know I think there's a women's pure title. I have no clue who has that. Like yeah.
I don't even know.
I mean, honestly, I forgot Adam Cole was TNT champion until the last pay-per-view when I was like, oh, that's right, he has that.
Adam Cole. I call him Adam Cold because he's freezing right now. He got no momentum, no heat on him, and nothing.
I know we have one more thing to do, but I need to ask just a quick question. Has anybody lost more momentum in the jump to AEW than Adam Cole? Has anybody lost more momentum?
If you want to compare the big time moment of his debut the same night as Danielson to where we are now, it is definitely a nosedive. Like it's nobody cares.
And that was before the injury. That was before the injury. It was still
Keith Lee.
Yeah, but Keith Lee was big, but he had the Bearcat thing. But like Adam Cole was the longest reigning NXT champion. He came in from the hottest
the thing is
run of his career.
I feel like
Lee was the first double champion, wasn't he?
Yeah, before he became Bearcat.
Keith Lee was a big time signing for them too.
Yeah.
Because honestly, before we gotta get to this next topic, but Keith Lee, when they signed him, I was like, oh, this is a slam dunk signing because Keith Lee is like that was a guy. I mean, bro, like he had the moment with Brock and all of that. Like
Keith Lee,
the moment with Roman.
Honestly, Keith Lee's the guy that I remember seeing on the Indies and went, Vince is going to love this guy. He's big. He's powerful. He's money maker, and
he was 340 pounds and moves like a cruiserweight. Like
the pounces, like the Adam Cole selling of the pounce where he just went into the crowd, maybe still one of the greatest moments.
Dijak and Keith Lee is still one of my favorite big man matches ever from NXT.
It's a classic.
The PWG too. They had quite a history.
Yeah, man. And I saw a tweet from Keith Lee. He says that he's
ready to go.
He's ready to go. So I don't know what's going on, man. First and foremost, I'm glad to see that he's happy and healthy. That's the most important thing because people put a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't like all of that. You know, let that stuff be. But he's like, I'm chilling. He's like, I'm glad that y'all are worried about me. But let's get to the last topic though, because we are running short on time. Because this is a big time match at All In. The EVP title, the biggest titles on the line is the EVP titles.
Okay.
We had a the Titantron. We had Nicholas and Matthew Jackson telling Swerve and Ospreay that they have a match against Lee Johnson and Blake Christensen, I believe is his name.
Yeah.
And instead of that, apparently it was supposed to start the end of the night. It had to start now. I gotta say this. I love Ospreay running out, not ready, trying to put his boot in. Ospreay has a sense of like charm and like goofiness that is like you. It's funny, right? It shows you that he's more than just a phenomenal wrestler. But they get the win. They say that they want to go against the Young Bucks at All In, and he wants to raise the stakes. It is for the EVP titles, and I must ask you guys thoughts on this. Is this going to save us from the Young Buck purgatory with these EVPs? And also, does this mean Swerve and Ospreay become EVPs? Because I'm curious to see what that looks like. Big N, I'm gonna start with you first. What are your thoughts on all of that?
Please don't. To me, it just seemed like a really bad way to get them on the show. This executive vice president titles, I don't understand it. I don't like it. I don't like the way that the Young Bucks to me always symbolized rebellion, and now they start to irritate me. I know that's what they're supposed to do, right? They're heels. They're supposed to irritate us, but it's deeper than that, almost a little bit. So I really like Swerve. I'm not a fan of Cirque du Soleil. I mean, Will Ospreay. Sorry, I get them two mixed up. But I don't know. It should be a fun match, but I don't understand. I don't see the reasoning for it. It's not like this was something that was built up. It was just thrown together. So yeah, you lost me there.
He caught him Cirque du Soleil. That's a good one. I ain't gonna lie. I feel that. I'm gonna go to you first, Anthony, and then I feel like we should all talk it amongst each other just to close it up.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things that, Uncle Dave's favorite tag team. I've never considered them GOATs personally. I take Motor City over them, but personally, this is a situation where honestly, I don't think Tony Khan knows what to do with the Bucks at this point. They've had the tag titles, they've had the 6-man. They've done kind of everything at this point, and I don't think they know what to do. They did the crappy takeover, then they're bringing them back to to help with the other takeover that's not really a takeover because Tony Khan's still running things and nobody knows what the Death Riders are taking over. So it's kind of one of those things where the match itself's probably going to be great. They might do segments if Swerve and Ospreay take the EVP and they're now abusing the power against the Bucks. Maybe you're doing that. But at this point, I don't know if the Bucks really care. The Bucks are just kind of biding their time because I think they've openly said they're toying around with the idea of possibly buying PWG and doing their own promotion. So, like, is this to get them out of the company? Is this to write them out? Is this their swan song that they're leaving? It's more questions than answers at this point, but it's a match where it's like, well, we got to have them on here. Okay. Well, there's got to be something at stake. Let's put the EVP titles. And it's like, I don't know how much the Bucks are really doing backstage. Like, and that's not a knock on them. I legitimately don't know what they actually do as EVPs. I have no idea. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, is it in name only? Like when actors get executive producer roles, like, is it to make them so they're employees and not independent contractors? I don't know. But from a storyline for TV, I mean, we've seen it done before. We've seen situations where, somebody loses and they lost the presidency. I think like the WCW did that with Ric Flair and Bischoff, and that Flair had control of the company. I'm pretty sure WWE did it back in the day. It's been done, and you can kind of maybe have fun with it. But like long term, does it really do anything for Swerve or Ospreay? No, it really doesn't. You know what I mean? Long term, I don't get how this benefits anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't, for a laugh and, to do that, I don't see how you really do something out of it. The worst thing you want is, Swerve and Ospreay they're having fun being EVPs, and then they have a disagreement and then they start feuding because of that. Please don't do that. Please. Like, you could come up with any other reason, fighting for a title, an opportunity, whatever. But don't do something stupid of like, oh, well, now Swerve doesn't like Ospreay because of some decision they made when they were EVPs. Please don't do that. Please.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of do agree with Ant in regards that it is a way to kind of get them on a big card, and it is a big
absolutely
time match. But it also goes back to, the elephant in the room, and that's that briefcase with that title, and that's our world champion. Because in a way, you could have sold, like, it's underwhelming to have Hangman and Moxley because it's All In, and All In, like you mentioned, is their WrestleMania, and I feel like that could have been reserved for a Hangman and a Swerve, right? The best feud in AEW history, in my opinion, Swerve and Hangman, or an Ospreay and Hangman, or a triple threat. Like, there was a lot of ways where, like, you kind of want to see the best of the best going in there. And I have so much respect for Jon Moxley. I think he is one of the most important wrestlers in AEW history. I think he is a Mount Rushmore guy, but he's starting to tread the Jericho waters a little bit. Not that bad. I ain't gonna say that bad.
Right.
But like, I feel like we got to miss him a little bit more.
His booking in the Bucks, it's kind of like, this is not quality booking. Like the story doesn't matter. Like the money match, when you said triple threat, I'd pay money to see Swerve, Ospreay, Hangman. That I'd pay money to see.
For sure.
Make it a fatal 4-way and throw Moxley in there.
I mean, they can throw Moxley in there, but honestly, I'm fine with just 3. Because the Moxley, I got to be honest, I don't think there's anything left for him in AEW to really do. What's there? Like, realistically, what's there? Where's the money match for him at this point? Because I think the Death Riders thing really hurt his branding. I don't think it helped it. I think it hurt it more than anything.
Yeah, it is. That is a good point. It definitely hasn't helped him out a lot. But, man, that is all the time we have today. This was a great show, man. If y'all are not busy, we'll be back same time tomorrow. We'll be talking.
Tomorrow's my birthday.
Oh, we got a birthday.
We
got a birthday pod tomorrow.
We're gonna be on tomorrow. I think we're doing the preview.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on.
Saturday, yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, I will be on that tomorrow with you, bro. And you know what I'm saying? And it's also a prediction show for Night of Champions, which is going to be very special. But thank you guys all in the comments for rocking with us today. And yeah, man, we'll see y'all tomorrow. In the words of Jay Uso, deuces,
Don't do it.
ooses. We out. That's my slogan.